What if you could basically be a fly on the wall and listen in on the secrets of billionaires, legendary athletes, and world-famous artists? Well, that's pretty much what we're doing today. We're going to deconstruct Tim Ferriss's awesome book, Tools of Titans, and pull out the tactics and habits that make these top performers tick.
So this is the big question, right? The one that drives the entire book. What is the secret sauce here? You might think it's just pure talent or, getting lucky. But as you're about to see, the real answer is something that literally anyone can start working on today.
And boom, here it is. This is the core idea. These titans, they are not perfect superhumans. In fact, Ferriss calls them walking flaws. Their whole secret isn't about being amazing at everything. No way. It's about finding one or two things they're ridiculously good at, and then just building their entire world around those strengths.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to follow the book's roadmap and break this down into the 3 big pillars of performance: healthy, wealthy, and wise. Then we'll wrap it all up by looking at the core traits that you see in almost every single one of these titans. First up, healthy. Because let's be real, you can't build a world-class career if your own foundation is shaky. It turns out that elite performance, both in your body and your mind, really starts with just a few basic, fundamental habits.
So if there is one habit that is almost universal among these high achievers, it is absolutely this. A staggering 80% of them have some kind of daily mindfulness or meditation practice. For them, this isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. It is a non-negotiable tool for keeping their mind sharp.
And that mindfulness is usually the anchor for their entire morning. Now, the details are different for everyone, but the principle is exactly the same. Win the morning, win the day. You've got Tony Robbins, who uses a process called priming to get into a powerful state. Then there's Tim Ferriss, who has his own 5-step ritual. The real key here isn't the exact routine. It's the simple act of starting your day with intention, instead of just reacting to your phone buzzing.
Another really cool tool for controlling your state comes from the Iceman, Wim Hof. He uses this very specific breathing pattern, just a series of these really deep, powerful breaths and then a long hold, to do some frankly insane things like climbing mountains in shorts. But for us regular folks, it's an incredibly fast way to change how we feel, both physically and mentally.
And this quote from Tony Robbins just nails why all this physical stuff matters so much. Your physical state completely dictates your mental state. You just can't come up with brilliant ideas if you feel awful. So the strategy is super simple. Change your body first, with your breath, with some quick movement, whatever, and then go tackle your problems.
Okay, so with our body and mind primed, we can jump to the second pillar, wealthy. And look, this is not just about money. It's about building systems, levers that create impact, influence, and at the end of the day, freedom. So one of the most powerful ideas in the whole book, especially for creators, comes from Kevin Kelly. He basically says, forget trying to get millions of followers. Instead, focus all your energy on finding just 1,000 true fans. A true fan is someone who will buy literally anything you make. They are your true foundation. And the math behind this is it's so simple and so empowering. If you can convince those 1,000 people to spend just $100 a year on your stuff, that's a $100,000 income. It completely reframes success, taking it from this impossible mountain down to a totally achievable goal.
And then you've got the Arnold Schwarzenegger approach to success, which is basically, if you don't fit into the game, just invent a new one. People told him his accent was a problem. His body was too big. So what did he do? He made them his signature strengths, creating a whole new category for himself. He never just wanted to compete, he was playing to dominate. And it was all driven by this incredibly clear vision he had for himself.
Which brings us to our final pillar, wise. Think of this as your internal operating system, your mental OS. These are the philosophies and mindsets that guide how you make decisions, how you stay creative, and how you bounce back when things go wrong.
Okay, imagine this. You're the legendary music producer Rick Rubin, and one of the biggest artists in the world walks into your studio, and they are completely stuck. Total writer's block. How in the world do you solve that?
Rubin's solution is genius because it's so counterintuitive. He doesn't ask for a hit song. He lowers the bar so low it's almost silly. He'll ask a writer for just one single word, or he'll ask a guitarist to play just one note. The whole goal is to make the first step so incredibly small that it's impossible not to do it.
And what happens? Well, that one word turns into a sentence. That sentence turns into a paragraph. That one little note becomes a chord, and that chord becomes a song. That tiny, tiny action just shatters the paralysis, and the momentum does the rest of the work. It's such a powerful way to trick your brain into getting started.
This quote from Derek Sivers just perfectly captures the whole idea of this section, right? We have all the information in the world at our fingertips. The problem isn't knowing what to do. The problem is dealing with all the mental junk that stops us from actually doing it.
Sivers tells this little parable about a donkey to show us a mental trap we all fall into, the false choice. We get paralyzed wondering, should I do A or should I do B? The poor donkey starves because it can't decide. But the truth is, you can almost always drink the water and then eat the hay. The solution is to just stop thinking and pick one. Start moving. The path forward usually shows you how you can get both done.
So, across healthy, wealthy, and wise, what are the things that tie it all together? What's the common code that's running through almost all of these amazing performers? Let's break it down.
First and foremost, it's this mindset. Almost every single one of them sees failure as just a temporary thing, a data point. It's something you learn from. It is not who you are. Failure is an event. It's not an identity.
And the book is just loaded with proof of this. Tim Ferriss's breakout book, rejected by more than 20 publishers. Colonel Sanders was told no over 1,000 times. It took Seth Rogen 10 years just to get the movie Superbad made. Their success wasn't because they didn't fail, it was because they refused to quit.
And this is a huge mental switch. Most of us see our weaknesses as these liabilities we have to hide. But the Titans, they basically weaponize them. They take their supposed flaws and turn them into their biggest advantages. Their quirks become their brand. Their struggles become their superpower. And we're going to end with this really powerful, kind of mind-bending question from the investor Peter Thiel. Now, this isn't about working yourself into the ground. It's a question designed to make you challenge all your assumptions, to break out of normal timelines, and to question the limits you've put on yourself. What if that big 10-year goal isn't nearly as far away as you think it is?